What's going on, guys? Ben here with Strong Insurance. Today we are going to discuss navigating the road to the cheapest insurance rates possible. There's 5 or 6 different things, maybe even 7, that you can do here to make sure that you are getting the best rate possible when it comes to insurance. We're going to start out with your out of service and ISS scores. These are paramount to maintaining low premiums. Obviously, the way to get those is we're going to segue into safety and compliance. Safety and compliance, it translates to better out of service and ISS scores. Driver training, fleet maintenance programs, driver onboarding programs, reoccurring education programs, whatever you can implement to keep your out of service scores and your ISS scores down. Insurance carriers heavily look at these 2 items. They really want to see what your safety rating is, and that will dictate a lot of the carriers you're eligible for and the rates that they present to you. Obviously, the state that you're in can cause a big difference. Being in Florida, Louisiana, Georgia, New Jersey, New York, those are going to be some very difficult and expensive states compared to, say, Nebraska, Kansas, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, some of your central heartland states. Now, one of the biggest misconceptions that we see, and that we see some other agents telling people, is you can go file your LLC in Wyoming and get your DOT in Wyoming with an address in Wyoming, but your truck is domiciled and you live down in Texas as an owner-operator. You cannot do that. You should not do that. You should have your policy in Texas. Wherever that truck is going to bed at night is where your insurance policy needs to be written. You might get away with doing this. You certainly can get away with doing this. But we don't recommend it. In the event of a large nuclear $1 million, $2 million claim, you could be stuck holding the bag because the insurance company can say, hey, this was material misrepresentation. You told us that you were living in Wyoming and that your garaging address was in Wyoming, but it was actually down in Texas. We're not going to cover this $1 million claim. So be very careful about how you handle that situation. Now, if you are a fleet and you've got vehicles garaged in multiple states, you are going to write the policy in your domicile state, wherever the LLC is filed, wherever your home base and office is. If you have a terminal, it's going to be in that primary state. And then you will have to let the insurance company know that truck A and B and C and D are garaged here, 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 and there. So definitely something to keep in mind. Now, drivers are a big piece to the puzzle as well. You want to try to make sure that the drivers that you hire as you grow your fleet are at least experienced with 2 years of CDLA experience. Anything less than that, you will end up with a little bit subpar carriers. There's not that many insurance carriers out there that are going to offer you insurance terms. So making sure that you've got those experienced drivers, which will also generally translate to better out of services and ISS. So it all kind of goes hand in hand. And then commodities. Commodities are one of the primary driving factors as well in determining your premium. If you are mobile home toting, you're hauling logs in and out of logging camps, you're hauling, reefer versus dry van, those type of things are going to determine your rate. Reefer is going to be more expensive than dry van. Logging, livestock, mobile home toting, those are going to be difficult to place because there's not that many insurance carriers even wanting to offer coverage for those type of commodities. So the premium is subsequently going to be higher. Now, the last piece to the puzzle is broker selection. Making sure that you pick the insurance broker or agent that you want to work with. Now, it's kind of surprising, but most of us have the same carriers. Now, maybe your home and auto agent down the street is not going to have the same carrier selection that we do at Strong Insurance because we specialize in trucking insurance. This is all we do day in and day out is trucking and transportation from one truck up to 1,000 in a fleet. So one of the issues you can run into by going to 20 different insurance agents is what we call blocking the market. I can go out and I can submit your submission to all 30 of my carriers, and now the next agent you go to is not going to be able to approach many of those companies. Now, there's companies out there like Progressive and Geico and Cover Whale and Berkshire that don't block the market, but all of our preferred red carpet rollout carriers like Northland and Canal and Crum they are going to allow us to block the market. I'm going to put your submission in, and now no other agent is allowed to submit your piece of business. So now I've got Crum, I've got Northland, I've got all my carriers, and they've got your Geico quotes, Progressive quotes, etc. Now we have no leverage, right? Because they don't know what my rates are, and I don't know what their rates are. So I can't leverage those against these carriers and see if I can get one carrier to maybe drop the rate a little bit to match the next carrier. So broker selection is really important. Maybe 1 or 2 agents working on your account. If you're a large fleet, I highly recommend picking at the most 2. Even if you're smaller, I would not go to 20 different agents. We're all going to do the same thing. Some of us just do it better than others. So those are some things to keep in mind while you're trying to obtain the best insurance rates possible. If you want to learn more about these, please reach out to any of our TRIP certified agents using the link down below. And if you want to continue to learn more about the trucking insurance industry and the trucking industry as a whole, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscribe, and as always, keep it rubber side down.